Okay. Message number 3. So my guides wanted me to put together something to tell you all about, and some of you are really going to resonate with this, and some are newly awakening, so that's okay. But they wanted me to talk about what happens when we encounter interdimensional beings in our everyday life and we don't realize it, okay? Now, in the grander story, please realize that your DNA, all humans at this point, is hybrid blended DNA, okay? And we know this in science because there's huge gaps in the evolution where there was like not, a developed collective society, and then boom, all of a sudden there's these beings that have more skill or more advanced or have more technology, and nobody knows why. But even without the science, your inner knowing should tell you that you're actually not what you thought you were, okay? People are remembering that now. But that being said, it's like whether you realize it or not, when you interact with anybody, you're interacting with a hybrid being, whether they know it or not, or whether you know it or not, okay? But as we go through this awakening more, okay, and the collective is starting to wake up, I just wanted to share some things I'm noticing as a psychic in the collective that I think are really cool and strange, but cool strange at the same time, okay? So I went to Walmart the other day. So this is kind of a little Angels Among Us from the deck I shared earlier. So this is the little deck, Angels Among Us, okay? And I love how the angels in this look like regular people, okay? Because that's the truth. Anyway, I go to Walmart, and I'm walking around Walmart with my kids, grabbing whatever we need, and I'm just like, normally I'm very aware anyway because of my psychic abilities, and I know when there's a message for somebody, okay? But this was different, okay? Every person in Walmart felt different, okay? And there was so much weirdness going on, okay? But it wasn't like bad weird, it was just totally different. And there were at least 5 people. I think they were all men. I don't know if none of the women were like tuned in at this point. It was just the men, which is unusual because usually, for me anyway, as a female, I would normally connect with another female to share a message or whatever, unless there's some reason to talk to a guy. But typically I'm not going to do that, like at Walmart, just even for safety, right? But this was the men, okay? So the men were different. And I really, really, really got this strong Pleiadian feeling, okay? Like I'm walking through Walmart, I'm shopping with my kids, and I could feel the Pleiadians, and I could see them. This guy, he's like walking past me on the aisle, and I'm like, he's Pleiadian. Like he straight up was not human, and I could see it. And he had great energy, by the way. And he could see me, and he starts laughing, kind of laughing, like smiling at me, and I'm like, this is getting real, okay? Like, seriously, I know he's a Pleiadian. He's walking down the aisle. Nobody would have picked up on it because he looked so close to a human, but I could tell that he wasn't, okay? Now, I've seen this in the astral for a long time and in my dreams, but now it's happening here, okay? Like, where I'm here, we're awake, and we're walking down the aisle in Walmart, and I'm picking up on everybody, okay? The only time that's ever happened in the past as a psychic is when there was a message for that person. That's why this was different. This was like every single being walking around, being different. And there was like the group that were just like unawakened humans, just doing their job, but they're not like really aware of anything. And there was this handful of like these people that I knew were extraterrestrial beings. And they kept smiling. It was like such a funny moment. I can't explain it, but I know that you guys are I want to hear your comments. I know you're having this experience. I know I'm not the only one. And I was just like, told my husband later, I was like, honey, it was so weird. I was like, there were so many people in Walmart that were basically not human, but they were Pleiadian. So their energy was great. Okay. And nobody else would have noticed it because they looked human-ish. Okay. But I could just tell, I could see it in their body. And plus I have that inner knowing. Okay. So that's cool. So there's one cool thing going on. Okay. The next thing that happened that was so weird, you guys, but also amazing, okay? So my husband and I had to, we had to pick up some materials for his job site. He's a contractor, okay? And so we went to this little, I don't know what it's like, a fabrication store for stone. Okay. And first of all, just being around all the stone, I'm like so happy. Okay. It's like I'm surrounded by like the mountains. I'm like, oh, stone. I love it so much. But anyway, I go into this place and I start talking to the lady that's working there while my husband's talking to the guy. And she and I started looking at the stones, and she's showing me the colors, and I'm selecting like what options they have. And she looks at me and she says, I have mixed feelings about using the stone because it's taken from the mountains. And I was like, I know. And we started talking about it, and I was like, I know exactly what you mean. I said, that's why anytime we can salvage anything on a project, we do. Wood, stone, any of it. We treat it as sacred, and we don't waste it. And we try to reuse as much as we can when it's applicable, and permittable. Because sometimes that's if it's our own project, we can do what we want. But if it's a client's project, then we have to follow their instructions. But anyway, so we were talking about that. And I started telling her about the consciousness of the mountains and just all of that. Well, she looks at me and so one of the things that's always happened with me because of my abilities is my eyes communicate telepathically with other people all the time. Okay. Well, she started doing the same thing, and I noticed it right away. I was like, well, she's definitely different. Okay. So she's looking at me, I'm looking at her, and she says, is this why the aliens are here? I mean, I couldn't believe she just said that to me. Like, we hadn't talked about my work at all, or the interdimensionals, or me communicating with the aliens, or any of that, okay? It's like that inner knowing just hit us both at the same time. And she's like, so that's why the aliens are coming back? And I was like, yes, because we're here to protect Sacred Mother, okay? So it opens up this whole conversation. We start talking about all the things. And then it gets even weirder, but in a cool way. We find out that we're from the same tribe. Okay, from Alabama. She's from Alabama, and I'm from Mississippi, but North Mississippi, that whole region, was the tribe that we're from, goes all the way across North Mississippi, Alabama, parts of Tennessee, and it was a huge tribe, okay? And I was like, oh my gosh, she's like a soul sister, okay? Mary Magdalene, as I said that, just talking. And so that just opened up a whole nother conversation. But for someone in the general public, okay, to approach me and say, do you think that's why the aliens are here? If you just were wondering, are we making progress here? We're making progress, okay? I'm walking around seeing Pleiadians at the store, okay? And someone from my ancient tribe, who I've never been in contact with in this life, just opens up and asks me, why are the aliens here? I'm like, okay, that's progress, you guys. Then the other strange thing that happened the other day when I posted, you can go back and look at my post, when I posted the orb that was so close to me and it came very, very slow, like over me. That post was, I think, a few days ago. Something strange happened with my eyes right before. So I wanted to say this to you because I feel like the contactees, which I am one, and many of you are, in fact, probably most of you who are noticing are, you may start noticing differences in your body, okay, as we get closer to active contact, okay? And because our body was designed by our higher self to handle this transition, to assist with it, to carry the frequencies. It's a lot of power, okay? It's a lot, you have to be able to handle it. This is why they can't just like come in the way everybody wants them to. No, it has to be gradual for the body to survive. So the collective is very important. There's great love for humanity, and they're actually doing this in a very wise and gentle way to protect humanity, okay? That being said, the more work you do to carry your light frequency better, really calibrating it, grounding it, getting used to more light being in the body, adjusting to these attunements, the more contact you're going to get because you can handle the frequency, okay? All right, so I'm looking down the street. Here's the weird thing. And I'm like seeing all the street lights, and I mean, it was like I blinked and a lens clicked on one side of my body. Okay. So I was like, whoa. And on one side, I could see that every single light down the street had a weaver web around it, which I'm very connected to the weavers in my sacred lineage, but also in even my maiden name was Webb, okay? So that message of weaving and weaving light has always run in my family, okay? So when I see the webs, I know that it's a message, right? But what was weird about it, that was just it was like a lens just clicked in, and on one side I could see webs just all the way down the street. The other side looked normal, okay? And I was like, whoa, okay. And then as soon as that happened, I knew it was a communication with my guides, and I'm like, all right, what's going on? And that's when that big orb came in, just slowly moving towards me, very, very slow. It was a very peaceful moment. And I just took it as, well, there's more to that message in the website of it, and the Weaver, in the grid and the quantum field and all that. But for this video, I'll just say that I took that as a confirmation from my higher self to receive this craft, okay, as a friendly, okay, because I don't notice many negative craft anymore the way I used to, but definitely there were at a time some that I did not trust, and I was like, stay back. And they will not approach you because they have to have permission. So just remember that if you're ever uncomfortable, you can always set a boundary, and they have to respect it. But those that are there for you, that are there for your awakening, this is that Christ energy talking. I can hear Christ talking. You'll know, and you'll have some kind of little confirmation. And for me, that was one of them. It was like all of a sudden my eyes could see two different realms. And it was actually incredible. And I do think you're going to start noticing similar things. That's why I'm sharing this. So just know that everything's okay, and your body is magnificent. It can do much more than you realize. And so these are some of the little baby step changes we may start noticing in our body, okay? And I think it's cool. I think these are really cool things. And this is a great sign that we are making progress, okay? And we should not pay any attention to the fear mongering going on right now, and the chaos programs and all the crap that doesn't matter. And just, focus on your magic and your inner being, and communicating with these interdimensionals and your higher self and all your guides, because there is great potential here for magnificent things to happen. 1212 has said that. I'm being called to show you this stone. One second. So someone needs to see this beautiful, beautiful crystal. I'm just going to hold it here. And I feel like the Pleiadians are using this blue light. They're helping a lot right now. So is Archangel Sandalphon. I did receive a very direct message in my sleep that said everyone asked for Sandalphon's help right now. So Archangel Sandalphon, I'm going to show you what he looks like in this deck, in the Angels Among Us deck, which is a beautiful deck. Look how cool. So this is how the illustrator paints him. How beautiful. Okay. And this is the Archangel of Music, Answered Prayers, and Earth Star. Okay. So that's appropriate. And when I read about him a little bit more, look how beautiful. He really helps to bridge your prayers with Source. And if we were to put that in a scientific way, just think of it as an archangel that can help you break through any frequency interruptions, any interference signals, okay? So Archangel Sandalphon helps to move all that out of the way, let the message come through of your prayer, okay? I'm asking my guides, do they want to put anything else on here? Look at this, you guys. First one that comes up. Archangel Horse Energy. And we're approaching the year of the horse. As you guys know, we're almost there, okay? It says, care for others and let them be free. So isn't that the message? Didn't I just say, when we come to the place of realizing that we can each have our own journey and yet still be together? They're telling me something else. That's enlightenment, okay? Stop being triggered by everybody else's way of life. Don't judge anybody else's way of life. Just go inward. And then when you do, you're going to encounter divine love. When you do, reflect that back out. And as more and more and more of that love comes through, we are changing this entire realm, you guys. Let me find the one I want to show you, because they've said it. Hold on. So many beautiful ones. One second, guys. Okay. This is the Wolf Archangel energy. Okay. And the reason I thought this one was so beautiful and why my guides just showed it to me for you guys is the message of the wolf is be independent, but work together. Okay. And the archangel connected to this message is Zariel. And I don't know if I'm saying his name correctly, so just forgive me if not. And you know what? Let me show you this one too. Hold on. 1 second. Okay, I wanted to share with you the archangels with the horse is archangels Mary and Christelle. Christ, think of Christ, okay? So I just wanted to share that for any who wanted to know. Just hold it where you can see it. Yeah, I feel like, you know, we're just really being encouraged to, you know, if you were raised, I'm hearing if you were raised very conservative, or if you were raised very strict, or culturally even, 555 as I said that, in a culture that didn't really allow for you to have individuality, okay? Really pray about that and work on letting go of your fears of people's differences, okay? We must let go of it and rise. Any fears you have of people that are different from you will hold you back, okay? Through ascension. This is why studying the Essenes is so important, okay? There are a few channels on here. So E-Snake, he talks a little bit about Essene teachings, maybe more than I know, but just I know he touches on it. But also, I'm trying to think of her page. I'll have to find it and I'll tag her on there. There's a great channel for a girl that teaches really Ascension, Essene teachings. And I love her channel. So I'm going to maybe try to tag them both in this if it lets me. Just in case you want a channel that you can follow to learn more about what they believed and why they connected to so many civilizations and they respected everyone, and why they were connected to ancient Egypt and Atlantis and all the people they respected. Think of how Jesus lived his life. He loved everyone and he connected with everyone and he elevated women. 1717, as I said that. He acknowledged them and respected them and actually drew attention to their greatness, okay? So there's so much to be explored there that's good, okay? So, I just wanted to pull a couple of numbers for you guys. 0606, okay? Commitment, loyalty, responsibility, truth, love, light, spiritual growth, and solutions. Living with honesty and light every day is a powerful way to cultivate a peaceful and meaningful life. By embracing truth, you unlock solutions and comfort. Yeah. Let go of worries by expressing your emotions authentically and regularly. Open your heart to the future because the best is yet to come. That's perfect. And let go of the fears. Those are programs, okay? 808, as I said that, you create abundance, okay? You create your reality. And this is a message for all people. We all have these things that need healing. Okay, these parts of ourselves that have been wounded, but that are also healable. And as you heal it, it becomes your strength. Okay, so remember that. Anything you're willing to heal will empower you. 1212, as I said that. Okay, persistence, enthusiasm, gratitude, fulfillment, transformation, new experiences. A wonderful opportunity aligned with your life's purpose is approaching. When it arises, take immediate action to embrace it. Additionally, a loving partnership or an epic romance may be on the horizon for some of you. Maintain your persistence and welcome the positive transformations coming your way. And I'm hearing anytime you heal yourself, you open yourself up for more love, okay, from the universe. And that's naturally going to bring in partnerships, professional, friendships, and romantic, okay? It can even help you manifest children. So if you're ready for children, some of you I'm hearing are ready for children, really work on your inner emotional healing. And it doesn't matter how your child comes forth, okay? Whether you're going to carry this child in your womb or maybe you're going to adopt, okay? Or surrogacy, okay? I don't even know the right term for that, but however your child gets to you that you're supposed to have, the healing is what brings them, Okay. And then as you encounter your child, you will heal even deeper, even more. So just know that. But that's, the children carry the wisdom. Okay. And they're fresh from heaven, so to speak. So they are great teachers. Indeed. So I'm asking Spirit, is there anything else? That's it. I hope this message helps. Let me know what kinds of things you've been noticing out and about, okay? As your psychic abilities are amping up and the collective is shifting, have you noticed the Pleiadians walking around like I did? Let me know. Bye, guys.